Chalice. Is there anything else you think you want to be on, or is it going to be? Catch me if I miss something.
All right. Good morning, everyone. So that was our lovely prelude. Thank you, Bill. The first opening hymn is in the teal hymnal. I'm colorblind, but I always hear it's teal. Is in 128. It says with joy and energy. So all the songs today, all the themes are supposed to be upbeat. It's very much intentional. So if you're willing and able, please stand and get ready for a quick beat. I'm going to try to start us out. Zoe, if you want to come and lead. No? All right. Thought I'd put you on the spot. All right. We're going to try to keep up. There's a quick intro, and then we're going to try to keep up if folks would like to. But stand and if you are willing and able. From the light of the days, remember, burns a beacon bright. Lovely.
We made it.
My apologies. I didn't realize that I was going to be leading the song on that one, but thanks for everybody jumping in on it. Next time I'll ask Mark or Jennifer to come up and catch that one early. Anyway, welcome everyone. My name is Josh Kroll. I'll be your speaker today. We obviously have Bill Heminger on the piano, tickling the ivories, and Ken Willingham will be our worship leader and, quite frankly, my safety net in case something goes wrong. We've got a fun topic and a meaningful topic to me today that I wanted to spend some time talking about, and hopefully Mark doesn't mind, but I was inspired, and I'd almost call this sort of a continuation of the reciprocity discussion. So we talked a lot about reciprocity and how do we think more openly about giving back to the earth and what's speaking to us, and we were talking about braiding sweetgrass. To me, servant leadership is how we should all maybe aspire to go about doing these types of things. How do we give back to the people around us without necessarily having to take the lead, while also inspiring others to do well themselves? So that's the reciprocity. That when I heard Mark's conversation around reciprocity, I'd been thinking about doing a servant leadership discussion, and it just really inspired me to maybe get up here and talk a little bit further about it. Okay, so we'll start with a couple welcoming. Come whoever you are. We welcome you. We know you come from here for different reasons: to find community, to seek your spiritual and personal truths, to question, to nurture your soul, to be nurtured, to explore new ideas, to find comfort, and perhaps to find the answers to some of your bigger questions. We welcome you. We know you come from different places, different religions, different beliefs, and different backgrounds. We hope you will find comfort, connection, challenge, and love here. We hope you will find ways to provide outreach to others in our congregation and our local community, and to our community in the world. So if I've got this right, next will be, well, first, are there any visitors here who would like to stand up and introduce themselves so we can greet you? Hi, Kari. Welcome. Okay. Molly, anybody online visiting?
Do any of you want to introduce yourselves, or shall we just go on? Okay, no.
Okay. So church announcements. Does anyone have anything they would like to share?
Of course, because I always talk a lot. Today is the last day to make any changes on who is coming to our Friends Night Out. You can still sign up. We have 3 seats left. We probably don't have more than that because reservations are very tight there. But we do have 3 open seats left. We are going to the log-in on Wednesday. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, periodically we have a Friends Night Out that everybody just gets together and goes out to dinner, or, you know, usually that's what we do, but sometimes we do something else. And this month we're going to the log-in. We thought that would be a nice way to celebrate Christmas and tradition and that sort of thing. So our reservation is for 6:15, to give you an extra 15 minutes because it's a little further away. It is family style food. So we all sit at a big table, you order your main dish, and then all of the sides are family style and get passed around. It's a nice place. It's a historic place if you haven't read it yet in the Compass. It was part of the Stagecoach Trail, and apparently Lincoln really did eat there. It's been around for a very long time. Word of caution, they do not take plastic. Okay, so you need to have cash or checks. They do take checks. So cash or checks. If you want to go, please sign the list on the visitors table, because I have to confirm for sure the reservation. They have called me already, and I said, Oh, yes, we're going to have everybody there. And right now we still have a few seats open. So if you're thinking about it, please sign up, please come. And besides, we have a good time. So if you're just visiting, if you just want to try it out, please come and we'll have a really good time. But it has to be today. All right, second announcement. Today is the unveiling of our new t-shirts. You might notice the t-shirt I'm wearing is not teal, it is royal blue. The lettering is yellow, and these are very nice and soft. Lorna, would you stand up, please? You can show them front or back, whichever you prefer, and I'll...
Woo!
Same shirt, we decided to leave it the same so that if you have an old shirt, you can still be like, we'll all still be together. We'll all be part of the gang. But I know some people have said, oh, my shirt, you know, I got it all messed up serving at the shelter, or, oh, I've worn it so much it's wearing out. And we've also had several people say, I was standing in line at the grocery store and somebody was reading the back of my shirt, and we got into a good discussion about it. So we didn't want to change the back, so we decided to keep it the same. These shirts are so much softer. That was my thing. I get out my shirt and think, yeah, but it's not very soft. I'd rather wear something else. So these shirts are soft. They are available now. All shirts are $10 regardless of the size. So we're not, you know, this isn't a fundraiser. We're doing this so that we can all have something that identifies us as who we are. So after the service, if you're interested in getting one, you know, please see me or Chris or Lorna, and we'll get you hooked up with a shirt. We will have, I will soon get, I won't promise when, get one of each size to hang on the rack in the lobby. That's what that rack is for, is to demonstrate the different sizes, and somehow it's lost that function. But we will, with the new shirts, we'll have one of each size. So if you want to kind of look and see what you think is going to fit you best before you commit, then you can certainly do that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. And those of you that are regulars or here or semi-regulars probably know that I'm the queen of pagan services, right? To the point where I sometimes think that those of you that are Christian may feel a little excluded. So the worship committee and I talked about including an Advent wreath. And this is the first day of Advent. So I'm going to replace these flowers. Can I have someone assist me, please?
Didn't see the candles.
Since you're the worship leader today, if you want to So those of you that aren't Christian and don't know the Christian tradition, we light one candle for the first day, and that's usually a white or a pink one. Oh, excuse me, I did the wrong thing. You know, it's anyway, so, and then each Sunday leading up to Christmas, we light another one. And then on Christmas, we actually light the final candle. but we're not going to be here, so we might do it the following. But anyway, so that's the Advent tradition, and I hope that you that are Christian feel a little more included.
Hello, I'm Chris, your treasurer. As you know, it's almost year end, and I will be sending out statements for tax purposes. If there is any donation you would like to count on this tax year, please have it to me by December 31st. I try to have the tax statements out by January 15th. So if you have any questions, see me today because I won't be here for the next 3 weeks. Thanks.
Are there any more church announcements? Anybody online, Molly? I'll take that as a no. I will say, this is kind of interesting. I grew up Catholic, and so we always did Advent calendars, and of course we had all the candles for leading up to Christmas. And my daughter has never gone to really any sort of mass or anything, but we still do Advent calendars. So it's always interesting how the traditions kind of get you excited. So while I don't practice Catholicism any now, and I probably wouldn't consider myself a Christian, that made me excited. So thank you, Jennifer. Okay, I have one more welcoming, and then we'll get to the greetings, which everybody enjoys the most. So this one actually comes, Tom encouraged me to bring one of these books home one time. I think the first time I gave a service. And there's actually a lot of really interesting passages in here, but this is one that I picked out for today. So may we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. I'll keep carrying that theme. Okay, this is the time in our service where we get up, we greet each other, give hugs, say hellos, spend some time together. We'll chime the bell when it's time to come back. And then immediately following that, we do have the new members welcoming activity afterwards, okay? So please, everybody get up, greet each other, and give each other some blessings.
Good day, sir.
Oh,
How are you doing?
hello, sir. Nice to meet you.
Peace to meet you.
Pieces be with you. I'm gonna ding the bell.
You gotta really wang that thing. You can't, people will hear it.
Wow, I about that. I know everybody likes it longer, but I've got a lot of stuff to do.
And introduce me, or shall I just talk?
I was gonna introduce you if you don't mind.
Should I fill in for Barbara?
We've already rearranged
Let's
jobs.
do it. Okay, that's fine.
Thank you, I appreciate that. No, they can sit where.
Thank you, Bill. So now is for the fun part, or at least one of the fun parts. I'd like to invite Sharon Dennis up to the podium to do the welcoming of new members. And then also I forgot to put into the order of service today that Doctor of UU, Christopher Norrington, was the gracious teacher for the new members class. So I believe Chris and Sharon are going to put on our little welcoming ceremony. So Sharon.
Good morning again. This is a wonderful special time because it's always so great to have new people come and join us. It's definitely something to celebrate and something that makes us all happy. Before I start with the new members, I want to say a little bit about the Congregational Life Committee, because without my committee, we wouldn't be doing this today. It's a small committee. Aaron Bradley, Lorna Ford, Barbara Stahura is on screen today, and myself. We also have two auxiliary members. Mary Helen Weldy has not been able to be here in person for a long time because of her health issues, but she sends all the cards for us. And then we have this auxiliary member who does very specific, certain very special things like teach the new members class and bake turkeys. And so Chris, of course, was the teacher of the new members class, and we really appreciate him and all he does. May I have all of the new members please come and take a seat up here on the stage. You may sit in whichever chair you choose. I knew it. I was looking to see if the back seats filled first. All right, I'd like to tell you just a little bit about each of our new members and hope we can make them feel welcome. Our first new member is Michelle Wharton. Is that Wharton? Michelle, would you come up and stand next to me, please? Thank you. Michelle says she loves snow and wintertime. She's a long-term healthcare, she works in long-term healthcare, and she enjoys hiking and running and traveling. Those are three pretty wonderful things. She decided to become a good member because just by going, when she comes to the church, just by going and feeling more like a human, she's like a church surfer, she said, and enjoys, I think many of us can relate to that, but she enjoys more comfortable beliefs that can be open-minded and very truthful. So apparently she has found that here because she is joining us officially today. Lorna, would you come and honor Michelle, please? Welcome, Michelle. The next person I would like to have come up here is Tim Thurgood. Welcome, Tim. We have seen Tim around a lot at our social events, but he is now official. He says, I am Ron and liked everyone. I'm a member of Ron Reagan's, is that how you say it? Freedom from Religion. I'm a kitchen cabinets designer at Menards, and I am retiring on June the 26th. And if you ask him, he can tell you how many days and how many minutes it will be.
Not June, January.
Oh, I'm sorry, January, I said June. Yes, and so he said, well, when I retire, I'm going to join. And we said, well, let's kickstart it a little bit so that you're already a member when you retire. So here he is, and we're so happy to have him. Lorna, would you please honor Tim? You're welcome. Our next new member is Zoe Breeze Haynew. Zoe, would you come up, please? Welcome. She, being a mom and being a helping hand in our community. That pretty much winds it up, doesn't it? That's pretty great. She said, I missed some of the sense of community that comes with church. And after visiting the first time, I felt warm and welcome. So that makes me very happy, and we're very happy to have you with us, Lorna. And finally, well, I shouldn't say finally yet, because Deborah Lee Hall is also a new member, but she was unable to be with us today. So the final one that we are honoring today is Susan Akers. Susan, would you come up, please? Susan wrote some very beautiful words for us, and I want to share them with you. So in addition to just introducing her, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how she feels about all of this. Welcome. She says, what I love. I moved to Evansville from Chicago to be with my son, Jeff, and his wife, Brittany, and my 2 granddaughters. What I also love is what I didn't really expect. I didn't anticipate being welcomed into 2 additional families, the extended family of my son's wife and the welcoming community of the UU Church. I also didn't anticipate the degree to which I would appreciate being in Evansville. It certainly isn't Chicago, and Chicago has its strong points, but so does Evansville. Less traffic for one, although that's not the main draw. There's a different vibe here, an openness to the sky, to the fields within 5 minutes of my house, a friendliness of people in general. And activities feel much more organic. Small groups of people participating and doing something they love, whether that's playing bridge, producing, acting in a play, doing stand-up comedy in a small room of a tavern, with much support and encouragement. I love curious and creative people, alive or dead. I read a lot. It's my favorite form of time travel. I belong to a group of writers, and I support artists to the degree I can. Prior to leaving Chicago, a friend and I took 3 days and walked through every single exhibit in the Art Institute of Chicago. Wow. And I love to laugh. What drew me to become a member? This is the 6th Unitarian church I have attended throughout my moves, 2 in Illinois, 2 in Colorado, and 2 now in Indiana. This is the first one I'm joining as a member. Granted, with all my moves, I was never able to attend any of them for extended times. However, this church is unique. This is a church that, in a quiet, natural way, creates the energy of welcoming in a unique way, through immediately revealing itself by walking the talk of its values. Everyone who walks in the door is genuinely welcomed and authentic interest in them and their visit. The fact that there is no minister provides a clearing into which people within the church step up to serve, to speak, to provide music in an incredibly generous way. And the sharing, the initial greetings, which go far beyond the perfunctory nice to meet you handshake of most churches, and yes, they have trouble getting us to stop talking and welcoming people. The joys, the sorrows, and the discussions that follow the talk and sermon. This is a safe space in which everyone is free to share whatever is on their heart. As I came the first few weeks last year, there was an immediate sense of belonging. And beyond Sunday morning, participating in the fall festival, the homeless meals. I've met people who may not be here on Sunday, but are committed and who work hard to support the activities of this congregation. And I do believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every individual and a search for individual spiritual truth, and the power of welcoming, non-judgmental, and authentic acceptance in the service in all of its grace and its messiness. No mud, no lotus. It takes it all. Thank you. Thank you for those beautiful words. I really appreciate it. Lorna? We are now going to have Chris actually have you sign into the book. He will call you up to the lectern one at a time, and once you have signed, if you would stand here in front of the lectern so we can get a final picture when we're done. Thank you, everyone.
Now, for our bylaws, members' names have to be read in the minutes, and that was done at the last board meeting. So technically, everybody's official. Kind of society are we?
Michelle, I just stand over here.
Michelle, this is for you. Come on up, Tim. Thank you. Zoe? Thank you. Susan? Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome.
I just want to say that I didn't see anybody actually reading the fine print as you were signing the book. Your name will go into the directory with your phone number, and you will forever be stalked by everybody in this room on Facebook. So, no, welcome everybody. It's been exciting that we've had 2 new members classes in this past 6 months, or at least this year anyway. And it's fantastic to see everybody coming back since COVID and the congregation slowly starting to grow again. So it's exciting. And I'm still a new member myself. So just seeing many more faces and new people coming is fantastic. Let's do our chalice lighting. So I have this for our chalice lighting today. Commitment. As we light this chalice, we make a commitment to stay curious, to ask questions and make observations, to learn about ourselves and how we interact with the world. We make a commitment to wonder each day, to practice gratitude each day, to learn to be inspired. We make a commitment to the Unitarian Universalist values that we hold together, the promises we make to each other. We make a commitment to the change for the future, to put love into action, to work for equity and justice, and to promise to build a better world. That was by Robin's Law. Thank you. Moving to the offertory. Ken has a nice offertory that he usually puts together. I've got reading that I'm going to put in here. Obviously, if you can, please give to the offertory. If you cannot, as Tom says, please take from the plate if you need it. But I could have 2 volunteers. If I could have 2 volunteers, please. I'll speak louder. We give to remind ourselves how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and a sacred place. We give with the faith that together we have enough. Okay, now is the time for our story for all ages. During the greeting, I actually talked to the kids real quick and asked them to help me. We've scared one off already. Hopefully you guys are willing to help by putting them on the spot. But we'll ask children and young of heart to come up front, and then we're going to read, well, not read actually, it's a picture book by Mark Ludi. It's called The Flower Man. Some of you may have seen it. It's pretty popular in some of the local leadership or servant leadership type activities. But it's one of those books that doesn't have a lot of words, but it has a lot of meaning. So we're going to try to create a nice story from what we see, and hopefully it leads well into our conversation later on servant leadership. All right. Who would like to come on? Do we have the boom mic still?
I don't know. Yeah. Yes.
Oh. No, I didn't scare you away. All right, so I'll try to turn the microphone around and hopefully you guys can speak up if you want to. Is that on? You guys here? Okay. So there's two things in this book that are worth mentioning. So the first one is this little piece on the back by Mark Ludi himself. So within these wordless pages are stories to be discovered. Use your keen eyes to see that which needs to be seen, and use your heart to discover the message that is waiting there just for you. And his dedication actually goes to his grandfather. And I believe that's an illustration of his grandfather. It's a large man sitting in a bathtub in black and white. And his grandpa always said, everyone's got a story. You just got to find out what it is. Okay? So in the first page, what do we see? What do you guys see? A lot of gray, right? Except for what? This one guy, right? This one man walking over a bridge, heading into a very gray and sad town, but he's full of color, quietly walking in. He's still walking through the gray town, making his way. That little bit of light. It's nighttime, we think. It looks like there's a glow from the lamps. And then he comes to this. Where's he at in the gray town? There's a little house with a for sale sign, right? Amongst all the things that are going on. And this will be in the lobby area for folks to look at. There's a lot of pictures in here, lots of different people, lots of different things. But quite frankly, a lot of pictures of sad people, people arguing, people lonely, people hungry. And the town is gray. So then the man buys the house. What do we start to see? Color, right? All around his little house. He's fixing it up, right? And as he fixes it up, the color comes back. People are still all around him. They're still gray, right? But then, now what do we see? Another person of color, right? Who is it? A little girl. And what is she holding? A little flower, right? So a man planted his garden, and gave this little girl a flower, and it brought color into her life. And we go another page. Now what do we start to see? Lots of color, right? Some of the windows start to have color. There's, I believe, somebody's painting and composing again. Somebody's happy to be up and moving about who wasn't moving about before. The little girl is bringing more flowers to people. People are spending more time with each other. Now what do we see going on? A lot more color. Is there any gray left? Not a lot, right? Sorry, you guys can scoot up if you want. Not a lot of color, or sorry, not a lot of gray that's left. Sorry, I didn't mean all of you. I think they were trying to see the pictures. There's a milkman out. People are greeting each other in the street. People are sharing the things that they have. People are interacting with each other. Folks who, you can't see it, but were on one side of the town are now speaking with people who are on the other side of the town and have come outside of their spaces. And even at night, there's lots of color. It's no longer gray and dreary, and everybody is coming out. And there are, at some point, folks who decide not to stay, folks who stay gray and move on to the next place because they're just not quite comfortable with the color. But that's okay. There's still color for everybody else. There's color for the community. There's color for people to be together. And then what's interesting is now that all that color has come, what do we see the flower man doing? He's leaving. He's going on to the next place, right? His work is done. Quietly walks out of town. Where's he headed? To another gray village, to find another house. What do you think he's going to do there? Spread more color, spread more flowers. And it all starts with that sweet little girl and just a simple act of giving it a flower. Right? Good, thank you. So that's the story for all ages. It's again, it's very symbolic of what we want to talk about today about servant leadership, the quiet flower man, making his space more beautiful, encouraging those around him to share that color and to be with each other. So thank you. Thanks for your help, everybody. All right, we said the word a lot, and oh, sorry. Go now in peace, lay the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Thank you for the reminder. I do want to say that Jennifer, Tom, Mark, and Ken are my mentors, so if everything goes well, please give them lots of praise for helping. If everything goes poorly, please give them some constructive feedback about what to do better with the next person. So I wanted to do a quick opening. We've talked about it quite a bit, servant leadership. It's one of those things that I think until you've heard it, until you've thought about it, it's very obvious in the words, servant leadership, but maybe the concept isn't always clear. And for me, it was something that I think I had always practiced, and then I'll tell a little bit of the story about how I came to realize that maybe that's the way to be. But servant leadership. So there's actually a person, Robert Greenleaf, who I'll quote quite a bit, who is known as the servant leader. Or so, while servant leadership is the timeless concept, the phrase servant leadership was coined by Robert Greenleaf as the servant leader in several essays that he published in the 1970s. What Greenleaf said, the servant leader is a servant first. It begins with a natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. The person is sharply different from one who is leader first because the need to assuage an unusual power of drive or to acquire material possessions is not in that person. The leader first and the servant first are two extreme types. Between them are shadings and blends that are part of the finite variety of human nature. The difference manifests itself in the care taken by the servant first to make sure that other people's highest priority needs are being served. The best test and difficult to administer is, do those served grow as a person? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become a servant? And what is the effect on the least privileged in society? Will they benefit or at least not be further deprived? The servant leader focuses primarily on the growth and well-being of people and the communities to which they belong. So those are the words actually of Robert Greenleaf, who I'll talk about a little bit more extensively, but he's the one who kind of coined the term servant leadership. We'll talk about him some more. So now we come to a fan favorite of the group here. Actually, I hadn't shared this for a while, but when I went to services in Maine, they didn't actually do Joys and Sorrows as a group. They hung Joys and Sorrows in a Web of Life, which is nice. It was interesting, but I have to say that I like ours better. It feels more communal, it feels more connected, and I really appreciate what everybody shares during this time. So we take a few moments each week to reflect on our joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of this community. Now it's time for the best part, our nap, or meditation, as some may call it. Ask everybody to take a few deep breaths, do some mindful thinking, say a prayer if you choose to say a prayer, open yourself up, enjoy the community that is here, enjoy the connection to one another, and then we will open up with Spirit of Life. Thank you. Best part every week. I love that song. Admittedly, that's probably what made me stay. So hopefully as new members are here, that's my favorite part. That's my favorite part. All right, I'm going to clear off a couple papers real quick. One thing that I did not learn from Ken was a sense of organization. We'll work on that next time. All right. So today's topic is servant leadership. We've talked a little bit about what the definition of servant leadership is. We've tried to keep the music upbeat a little bit. We've talked about the flower man and the bright light that he brings to the space that he is in, the way that he interacts with people. And that's really kind of the sense of where things go. So times be asked to be more of a leadership position, and I don't think I ever thought a lot of it. Actually, it was kind of humbling a lot of times. And then this is probably about 31, 32 when I had, I would say, my spiritual awakening or my own deep personal intervention. And I actually took a local leadership course here. It's Leadership Everyone, used to be Leadership Evansville. You've probably heard of it. I'm not going to necessarily do a advertisement for them, but what we talked about was servant leadership and finding people's strengths. And for me, it finally clicked. Okay, this is the type of leader that I want to be. This is the type of person that I want to be. There's a lot of introverts in this room, not to mention, I'm not necessarily introverted, but, a lot of humble people who want to do good things don't always want to be Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis having a presidential debate when neither one was running for, well, I guess DeSantis is kind of running, but anyway, it's a different kind of leadership. It's the leadership where you hope that you do good and other people see the good that you're doing, and that they choose to follow in that direction. The other part about servant leadership that kind of rang true to me, and actually it was a little bit in Susan's wonderful actually opening for me. We didn't plan that, but it was fantastic, is finding the strengths in individuals. I'm good at some things. Ken's great at organization, right? But I don't have that organizational strength. So I didn't have a joys and sorrows list, but Ken pulled out a piece of paper and there it was for me. I relied on Ken. I didn't tell Ken, no, it's okay. I don't need your help. I understand that that's not my strength, but I have somebody there to help. Similarly, in the community and any sort of organization that you're in, you have to accept, one, that you're limited in some ways, and that's not a bad thing. You have strengths in some spaces, weaknesses in others, but there's always somebody with a strength who can help you out. And the best thing to do is to help other people recognize their strength, help bring them up and get into servant leadership. So I want to read a little bit about Robert Greenleaf. I found this book about a year ago. I love his essays for not only just community stuff, but also for work and for me as sort of a leadership mantra. But he's known as the grandfather of modern empowerment movement and business leadership, which is where I kind of ran across of it. And again, he demonstrates his personal and professional philosophy, which postulates that true leaders are those who lead by serving others. And that's simple, right? Servant leadership, it's pretty straightforward. So the one thing that I want us to do is kind of reflect on what that means. What does that mean to serve other people? What does that mean to serve your community? What does that mean to serve each other? And how can we use that in order to make things better? The flower man is a good example of that. He comes into a space. He's not telling people to be better. He's not trying to force what he thinks or how people should be. He just simply does what he can to be the best version of himself, what he aspires to do. And he makes his house a beautiful place. He makes the neighborhood a beautiful place. And anybody who wants to come and be part of that, he encourages it. And then as people come and engage with each other and feel that emotional connection, that positive energy, they begin to spread it and they begin to push it out throughout the entire community. That's a lot of what we try to preach. Preach is probably the wrong word, but this is what we try to do here in UU, right? It's our principles. It's the inherent worth and dignity of every individual. We try to connect with each other. We try to connect with our community, and we try to make this place safe, welcoming, and a better place. So when I was going through this, one of the things that I thought of was in Frozen 2, there's a wonderful song by Anna. I will not be singing that one. I didn't get Bill to sheet music in time. But she says, what do I do? And the answer is always do the next right thing, right? So how do we as a community do the next right thing? How do we continue to do more and more? And the other thing that I noticed when I joined, and thankfully it's a new members day, and I am trying to keep this short technically because I thought we'd be full, but there's a lot of servant leaders here. And I don't know if everybody recognized themselves as a servant leader. And I think that was sort of the epiphany for me as I was taking that course and thinking about it. And I don't want to single folks out, but there's a lot of people in this room who help families who are immigrant families come over and establish here in Evansville. There's folks who are engaged in the theater community. There's the entire worship committee and supporting what we do in this church. Everybody in here is their own servant leader. And I think if you kind of look around and recognize that about each other, what I started to reflect on for the UU aspect of things is that everybody here in UU is their own form of servant leader. I don't care if you're organizing the spaghetti supper. I don't care if you're, coming up here to organize a worship. I don't, obviously Bill and Mark providing beautiful music all the time, but everybody is providing their skill, their strength, their leadership to this so that we all feel comfortable, so that we all feel like we're in a safe space and making a difference. And the big thing for all of us from there is, what do we do with it? This is a strong community. We're growing as a congregation. Let's start thinking about how we go out into the community, continue to spread that message. We obviously have the Fall Festival booth, which was painted teal. So I don't know if we can go with this royal blue or if we're gonna have to repaint it now. That's not the best place to maybe find folks, but it's a good place to be present. And I actually had a text coming in from a friend who was talking about, just going and taking pictures with Iris. The mentality is always just sort of be there, right? Always be present, try to bring a positive message, try to engage with each other and be that servant leader. And as much as possible, try to help those who may need more leadership, who may need the helping hand, who may need the positive comments that each of us can bring, okay? So the one thing that I wanted to do for the sharing today is actually, because I know there are so many servant leaders here, I didn't know if anyone would like to maybe come up and talk about, one, what they think of as servant leadership, but also some of the things that we do in the community. Through conversation over coffee and treats, you learn a lot about folks, and I've learned a lot about the things that folks are doing outside of even this church, but I didn't know if folks would like to come up and maybe share and either reflect on servant leadership or at least share maybe some of the things that they're doing out in the community that we should all know about, care about, and maybe even help with.
I'm a new member. Why do I always have to be the first one?
Yeah, yes.
There we go. This is just kind of a funny story, but on Thanksgiving, my mom and I volunteered at United Caring Shelter to serve Thanksgiving lunch, and we got yelled at by one of the workers there because we were clearing their trays. We were clearing the guests' trays. And she was, they need to bring their own trays up. It's Thanksgiving. No, they don't. And we kept doing it. So that was my little servant leadership.
Thank you.
I've always been a deep person all of my life. And when I was young, I felt kind of like an oddball, because young people don't really have deep thoughts in most assumptions. And I grew up Roman Catholic and with 12 years of parochial education. And as Mary Daly said, the Roman Catholic Church is responsible for more feminism than any other institution on the planet. And so I was drawn to that, but I never really had an outlook for my deep spiritual awareness for most of my life until I found this faith. And as a result, when I first started coming here, and I belonged to the UU Church in Buffalo before I moved back here. And when I first came here, I didn't take a lot of leadership roles, didn't do a lot of stuff. And I was on the board for a little while. That really wasn't my calling. And then I joined the worship team. And I think you will find, those of you who've been here for a while, that I've grown in that role. I feel a calling for that role. And part of that calling is to do worship in a way that is humble and yet I was going to say a wrong word, majestic, to bring out our highest calling, but also realize our utter weakness and where we have so far to go. And I also share my mental health challenges, because if I share what I struggle with and I'm still proud of who I am, what I accomplish, and what I have to give, I think I help other people accept their challenges with grace and still emphasize and work on their strengths. So that's how I try to be a servant leader. And it is a huge responsibility, but also one of the greatest blessings. So thank you.
Molly, would anyone online like to share a comment?
I don't think so. I just want to say thank you, Jennifer, for sharing that. That was wonderful.
I think Jennifer says something that everybody should take close to heart. I mean, oh, Chris is coming.
As a historian, I recently read about a nurse during World War I who assisted the French. Her name was Geneviève de Houtel, and she died in 1917 during the war. And she said 4 very powerful words: do good and disappear. And for her to write that, she was saying that, she said when she was on the battlefield helping soldiers, she wasn't standing around waiting for a pat on the back. And I think that's kind of a form of servant leadership, that when you're there just to help, not to wait around for a pat on the back. Or I think in this day of social media, people do things and then they want someone to take a picture of them doing it. And so I think those 4 words are very powerful, which are do good and disappear.
I actually think that sums it up. So I'll let Chris have that mic drop, and we'll have closing words afterwards. But we've got a nice upbeat tempo. This one's called "Let It Be a Dance." Anna and I were looking through different hymns and stuff. This one got stuck on our heads after watching it on YouTube, so I hope it gets stuck in your heads. Not only if you're willing and able, please stand, but if you're willing and able, maybe do like a nice little hip shake or do-si-do with anybody in the audience as we sing through this last song. The number is 311, Let It Be a Dance. And it's a cold open, and I'm gonna miss the right beat, but Bill's gonna pick me up. Dance with you, may I have this dance with you, through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance, let a dancing will be heard. Play the music and say the words, and fill the sky with all the sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Great music. All right. I hope that sticks in everyone's head. So for our closing words, one thing about servant leadership that I like is it doesn't have to be an adult. You don't need 70 years of experience to be a servant leader. And this poem actually comes from some students at a Summit, New Jersey, out of Oak Knoll School. And they were asked as a group to compose a poem about justice, peace, and compassion. And to me, the best part about servant leadership is if you like anything, if you emulate in front of children, they obviously learn to emulate what they learned from their parents and other people in the community. So the poem is entitled, "We Are One." We are powerful, our voices matter. We are a strong community, one that can make change. We are a community of brothers and sisters that should be as one. We are the future, our work is not done. We are stronger than our differences make us seem. We are one community united through love, not judgment. We are capable, we are brilliant, we are unique. We speak for those who can't speak for themselves. We stand against injustice and unite in the fight. We must join together and speak up for what is right. We are a community of empowerment, love and light. We are one. May your presence bless the world.
Well, gotta extinguish the chalice.
Oh, I'll extinguish the chalice.
Yeah, I'll get that. Read the words.
In your order of service. Sorry, I put it away. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. All right. Well, I already read the closing since I missed the putting out. May your presence bless the world. Close enough. There are a couple things out of order. We'll work on it. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect.
Well, yeah.